What's up, geeks? It's Darron Brown representing GeekMODE, the School of React Native. And in this video, we're going to cover Apple and Orange algorithm. So you can find this algorithm on HackerRank's website, and you can find a link of that in the description below. So basically, I'm just going to sum it up for you guys. In this video, what it's basically asking us to do in this algorithm is we have a distance that represents Sam's home. And Sam's home is represented by S, which is the beginning point, and T, which is the ending point. We also have two other markers which represent the apple tree and the orange tree. Now, the apple tree is to the left of Sam's house, the orange tree is to the right of Sam's house. And the apple tree is located at X units and the orange tree is represented at X units. So in our example, you can see that Sam's house started at the unit of 7 and it ends at the unit of 10. And the apple tree, it starts at 3. Yes. And oranges starts at 3 as well. Oh, that was wrong. So A. Okay, so the apple tree starts at A. And the orange tree starts at B. A is 4, B is 12. His house is between 7 and 10. All right, so let's jump into it. Now, if you take a look at my IDE, you can see that we have those values right here as variables. We have the starting point and the ending point of Sam's house, which is 7 and 10, the apple tree, which is 4, orange tree, which is 12. And we have an array of apples and an array of oranges. Now remember, because the apple, it lands, the apple tree is at 4 units, and the apple drops from the tree and rolls over 4 units to the right. And Sam's house is between 7 and 10. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. So there's no way that apple will hit Sam's house. But if you take a look at the apple tree is 4, and then the apple falls from the tree and it rolls over 4 spaces, that means that that apple is actually going to hit Sam's home. So we're going to create an algorithm to represent that. Now, excuse me if you see me looking back and forth. I actually completed this problem, and I'm going to reference it. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and just create our apples count, which is going to be 0. And this is for the amount of apples that hit Sam's house. And we're also going to have a count for oranges. Now we're going to create a new variable titled new array. This is where we'll actually push in the number of apples that hit the tree and the number of oranges that hit the tree. All right, so right now we're going to reference our array of apples. So there's a built-in function for JavaScript titled filter. Oh, apples. Sorry about that. Make sure you reference the apples parameter and you type in filter. So the built-in function for JavaScript is filter. Filter, what it does is basically it prints out all of our apples. So go ahead and I'll just add our apple. I'm going to console log that apple, each apple that comes through. All right, so go ahead, save this. Now go ahead, I'll put this as index as well. We don't need this, but I'll add the index. So we're going to return our apple and the index that the apple falls on. So say our apple and our index. All right, clear this out. Type in node, HackerRank, apple, oranges. As you can see, apple 2 is at index of 0, apple 3, index of 1, apple 4 has an index of 2. But the filter is actually printing out all of our apples, which is what we wanted to do. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I want to give you guys a good idea how filter works. And then we're going to create a new variable, and we're going to make this variable titled from tree. and this is basically going to mean the distance from tree. So from tree is going to be set equal to the apple plus A. And A again represents the location of the apple tree. So that's going to be A plus 2, which is 4 plus 2, 6. And now we're going to create some logic that represents. Hey, what's up guys? Darron Brown here. I just wanted to remind you, at the end of this video, make sure you check out the website www.geekmode.tech. There you can learn more about React Native, Firebase, and Redux. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you check out our free course as well. I'm sure you enjoy it. Now, that's enough of me, and I'll let you guys get back to the video. If fruit hits Sam's home. So if from tree is greater than or equal to S and from tree is less than or equal to T, we're going to increment our apples count by 1. All right. And then once we actually have the value for our apples count, we're going to push that into our new array. So new array.push apples count. And for those of you who are new to JavaScript, basically when you use the push function, that automatically adds new values to our new array. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to console log our apples count, just so we can see how many apples actually hit Sam's home. And remember, just looking at the array, we should already know that it's only one value. You see 4 plus 2 is 6, 4 plus negative 3 is 1, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So the value we're expecting to see back is 1 for apples count. That's exactly what we have. Apples count is equal to 1. So we're going to do the same thing for our oranges. So to save time, let's go ahead and just copy everything we have here. Paste it here. Now before we replace apples with oranges, we're going to take a quick break. Now that you're back, let's continue where we left off. Now let's grab our oranges. Reference our orange. And because we're referencing the orange tree, we're going to have orange plus B, I believe. That's exactly what the orange tree is represented by. So B. And we're going to increment our oranges count. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this piece of code here, paste it below our oranges, and I'm going to reference our oranges count. So once again, I'm going to console log this, and oranges count is 2. All right. Now, let's go back to HackerRank. Now, what HackerRank wants us to do, as you can see, it wants us to print out the value of number of apples that actually hit Sam's tree, and then print out the number of oranges that hit Sam's tree. So in order to do this, we're going to have to loop through our new array and print out each one of those values one by one. So let's grab our new array, and for each fruit count, we're going to console log fruit count. So let me just run this in our and as you can see, it's printing out 1 and 2. And that's exactly what we wanted to get printed out. So go ahead and just remove some of these console logs. Not the last value, not this one right here, just the ones we don't need. Okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to copy everything from our function, paste it in below. Okay, so let's run our code. Everything's passing. Now for the big test. Let's submit our code and see if it passes every test that HackerRank provides. Awesome. Well, guys, that's it for this video. And just as a reminder, I created this series um, working through algorithms because when I first started mobile development, um, the best thing about it is that I was able to get something on the screen and get immediate feedback. So I knew if I was building something, if it was working or not, on design wise, and I had fun with that. But then when I wanted the app to actually be functional and to do something for my users, I had the hardest time figuring out functional programming. I went to school for information systems. I got my master's in information systems. So there were courses that taught us how to code and algorithms, but for the most part, that wasn't its focus. The main focus of information systems is database architecture, uh, analytics, system design, and it's just programming isn't its sole focus. So for me, I struggled when it came to building a functional application. It took me a while to do that, especially on my own. So for you guys who are my fellow React Native developers or people who are interested in React Native, I hope you take this series serious if you actually need help learning how to create some kind of components that actually are functional and provide value to your users. But anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next. Peace.